talk about the 3 things to look for when you're selecting a listing agent to sell your home. I am Stephanie Dupuy with Dupuy Team at Keller Williams West Sound. Joining me today is
Ashton Evans with the Dupuy Team at Keller Williams West Sound.
So, we're talking about listing agents today and how to select one.
Yes, very good. How do we do that?
Well, we really want to look at 3 things when we're selecting a listing agent. The first thing you want to look for when you're selecting a listing agent is you want to select a listing agent that is going to take the time to learn what you need as a seller. The second thing you want to look for when selecting a listing agent is how they price your home, and that they price your home accurately. And the third thing you want to look for is their skill set. So what should a client be looking for? How can they tell if an agent is learning what the seller needs?
Consultation is, yeah, I think that's the word we're looking for there, is consultation, and somebody who is really working for you, not just to make a commission check. What do you need for this? What's your timeline? They need to be asking questions more than pressuring you into signing something.
It's really a good thing if the agent gets the seller on the phone and wants to take the time, maybe prior to the meeting, the listing meeting, at the listing meeting, sit down and ask the seller questions about how, when do you plan to sell, for example? Where are you going? So those aren't questions to pressure the seller. Those are questions to find out what the seller needs.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
What are some other questions that an agent might ask?
I ask if there's been any sort of, I want to go in and prepared. So I do that phone call where I'm asking, have there been any updates to the house? I ask where they're going afterwards, their reason for selling.
So it's important for the agent to be asking questions about the house prior to doing the CMA, which is the home value. Would you say that?
I have the home up when I first contact. If I get a request for anything, I have the home up on my computer from either the county assessor, or if there's a past listing available, and I've already looked through it, and I'll have that up while I'm speaking to the seller for the first time, so I can go through questions adequately.
Immediately start learning the home as soon as you're communicating with the seller. So some other questions that might be asked during this consult is, are there anything with the house that you know of that might, lower the value or cause issues with the sale of the home? So you might receive some direct questions as a seller during this, consultation. But the consultation, wouldn't you say that's a really important part of the listing process?
It's the most important part because it sets up the entire transaction. If it's not done correctly, then the transaction will not go smoothly.
That is the truth.
Everyone needs to understand what is required of them.
That's another good point, Ashton. We cover expectations during the consultation. What are our expectations of the seller? What are the seller's expectations of us? So, and that's a really difficult conversation to have sometimes.
Yeah, but you have to have somebody who has the time and is willing to have the difficult conversation and doesn't try to avoid it because it's difficult.
Well said. Well said. So let's go to pricing. The second thing you want to look for is an agent that prices the home accurately. Because how many times do we see sellers or get calls from sellers that are frustrated because their home didn't sell?
Yes. So
I want to see one more thing, because this is a hot button topic in our industry. The seller chose that agent because the agent priced it high, because the seller thought if they priced it high, they'd get more money. So let's talk about accurate pricing.
Yes. So that is, I do always say I've actually just recently had a seller that is interviewing agents, which I think is a great idea. And I gave them big thumbs up for that. They were like, no, we're interviewing 3 agents here. Like, we want to meet everybody. And yeah, I did tell them that during the consultation, I was like, I am going to give you a number on your house that is accurate so that nobody wants to have an agent tell them that their house is worth $30,000 more than the other agents are and go with that agent because they think they're going to get more money, where it's just going to sit on the market for 6 months. And it's not, nobody wants that. That's once your house starts sitting on the market too, it loses that gotcha, you know, like people have seen it and they're like, oh, it's that house again, you know, and they don't understand why it's still on the market. So you want it to be,
yeah.
You don't want.
Oh, sorry. And when they see a house sitting on the market, don't most buyers assume something's wrong with the house?
Yeah. If it's been on the market for more than 3 weeks in this market, then it's very questionable as to why it hasn't sold. And a lot of the times it's the price. And I do see this too, you know, you want an agent that's in this area. I see these signs all the time of agents over on the other side of the water selling houses over here, and they sit forever because they think that they're worth more than they are because they don't know the area. And so it's really important to pick somebody that's in the area that you're selling your house, like bridge to bridge. Keep it in that area.
Yeah.
I don't sell houses in Tacoma because every other street is good or bad. Like,
well, our state attorney our state association attorney, Annie Simmons, says it's irresponsible to sell outside of your area.
Yeah.
So if I'm a home seller, I would take that very seriously.
Yeah.
Select an agent that is practicing in the area. Take that very seriously. Let's go to the third point, skill set. So skill set has 2 sides to it, as far as I'm concerned. We have 2 sides to our job now as brokers and realtors. It's the legal side, because we're licensed to practice a section of law in a certain way in the state of Washington as realtors and brokers. Another side is the agent side, okay? And that's the marketing, the logistics, that side. And I'm really passionate about this one, if you'll allow me a little bit of room on this one.
Go for it.
Yeah, thanks. A little leash on here. You're selecting an agent. You need to respect their ability and be able and take seriously how they handle the legal aspect of your transaction so you stay out of court. It is not all about the marketing and the logistics. It's not all about whether you like them. Liking them will make it nice and more comfortable, but the transaction is a short-term period of time in your life. A lawsuit will last a lot longer. So be careful about this legal aspect. I think that's what goes on behind the scenes that people often ignore. There's this myth out there that what we do is easy. Don't fool yourself. This is no longer, selling a house is no longer like selling a car. Selling a house is a very complicated, serious transaction in the state of Washington.
Yes, and there's liabilities on your realtor that you have we don't talk about because it would stress you out.
Yes.
To know how much sits on her shoulders. So yeah, you want somebody who's taking this seriously. And I do see, like I was saying too, about maybe out of area agents. A lot of it's very cutthroat in different areas, and they try to. So at times, I have seen multiple times where they try to get a lawsuit to result if they don't get what they want, even if everything is completely accurate, they still try to fight it. And you don't want that. You want everybody to be working forward to close, you know?
Yeah, you're really looking for somebody. That's another thing that we're seeing is that we see a lot of sellers that are looking for a cutthroat agent. What you want is a knowledgeable agent who has the skills, the personal skills to get both parties to work towards the end, to work towards closing and get to closing. But what we're saying is choose an agent that understands this legal side so that they can protect you. Now let's go to the marketing and logistics side, okay? This is where teams have an advantage on when you're selecting a listing agent, because at this point, I don't know as a solo agent, you can do what a team can do with marketing and logistics. It's a full-time, Kelsey works full-time and a half. We have Kelsey and Mandy work full-time and a half for marketing and logistics with sign-ins.
It's incredible.
Yeah. So if we have somebody working full-time and a half on a listing, what's your agent doing with all the other work that they have to do if they're a solo agent? So if I'm selecting a listing agent, I look very seriously at teams versus solo agents right now. There's just too much to do, and it's become too complicated and too competitive. The marketing aspect of it, I'd recommend looking at the online marketing. I'd ask them what they're doing. You just go out to portals. They need to be doing redirect marketing. They need to be doing video. They need to be on YouTube. The video needs to be professional video, professional photos, staging, and you need to be on all the social media. Just on the short end, that's what I'd look for. And know that it's a lot. We find sometimes sellers are overwhelmed with all the information with the marketing. So what I would do is get a list from the listing agent when you meet and look at it later and go back and revisit it with them with questions. You don't need to understand it all, but do go back and address the questions. Here's another short trick. You don't need to understand all the marketing. What you need to see is the results. So ask your agent to see their MLS stats on their sales price to list price and compare them to the other agents you meet with. That'll tell you just about everything.
Yes.
And that's easy for us to say because our sales price to list prices.
I know, right? Yeah, check ours out.
Yeah. So thank you for joining us today. If you found
one last thing, can I just say, check the start, like research on Zillow and Google and all of that, the team or the agent as well. See what the good and bad is. If there is bad, see what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, don't take everything as at face value, but do the research.
Yeah. Before you narrow it down to those 3 agents, check that out and then start this process.
Exactly. Thank you for joining us. If you found this video today helpful, please share it with your friends, share it on social media, like us on Facebook, on Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm Stephanie Dupuy with Dupuy Team at Keller Williams West Sound. This is
Ashton Evans with Dupuy Team at Keller Williams West Sound.
And we will see you right here next week.